his 15th year as Township's head coach and now has 181 career coaching wins. Last year, his team went 7-4. They won their first-round playoff game, but fell to Shawnee in the semis 21-7. They've now won 3 state titles under Coach Brown, with their last coming in '95. They're looking to get another this year, but first they'll have to get by a very tough Cherokee team. The Chiefs come into the game after winning their first-round game to Southern Regional 14-7. They earned the 4th seed in Group 4 after finishing the regular season 6-2. So far, the Chiefs have won 5 state titles, 2 coming under current head coach John Scott. The last came back in 1993. These two teams face each other every single year. The last time they met was earlier this year when Township won 21-0. They met 3 times in the playoffs, and Cherokee holds a 2-1 advantage. So these two teams know each other very well, and both hope they know the formula for success. Let's go out now to Sewell, New Jersey, as we await the kickoff.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Washington Township High School in Sewell, New Jersey, the site of the South Jersey Group IV Semifinal between the Washington Township Minutemen and the Cherokee Chiefs. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jack Hibbert along with Rob Chris tonight. Washington Township has won the coin toss, has elected to receive, and we are underway in this South Jersey Group IV Semifinal. Rojas returns. The ball is loose on the ground and recovered quickly there by David Darby of Washington Township. A little scared on the opening kickoff for the Minutemen, but here come the undefeated Washington Township Minutemen, led by Steve Kerner, an outstanding baseball player here at Washington Township. He's making a name this season, leading this undefeated Minutemen team here to so far an undefeated season at 9-0.
Well, Jack, right from the outset, we see that special teams may play a role in this game. Coach Tom Brown of Washington Township concerned about his special teams play, almost giving up the ball to start the game.
I'll give you the starting lineups right after this play. 1st and 10, and they keep it on the ground, as you'll see a lot tonight from a balanced running attack. One of the best in South Jersey. This trio of runners for Washington Township has accounted for 24 touchdowns. We told you about Kerner already. Back in that backfield is Ramick and Cantwell, along with the outstanding running back in Bryant. Rojas and Carey are the receivers. Up front, it's Dunn, O'Connor, Ituri, Nysick, and Moscuso here to start things for Washington Township offensively.
Well, you're going to see a lot of running between the tackles today on this Township offense.
Gain of 6 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 4, and the give up the middle again, this time to Shea Harris. Harris had an outstanding year so far with 5 touchdowns. One of those 3 outstanding runners. Here's a look at that defense. Denker, Evans, Sweeney, and Bird up front. The linebackers are Lopresti, Haller, Denker, and Macarella. And in the defensive secondary, it's Brown, Robinson, and Letchford, who also, of course, is the quarterback for this Chiefs team. 3rd down and 3. Man in motion. And short of the 1st down. Underneath that pile was Shea Harris, and Harris just a little shy of the 1st down. So on 4th and 1, the Minutemen will have to punt it away. Here's another look.
Well, there you see, again, we're going between the tackles, and you'll see that being the theme all night long. But that Cherokee defense holding up strong, and that's a big stop right from the get-go. Cherokee a little undersized comparatively to this Washington Township team, just a little bit quicker, and Washington Township will continue to try to pound the ball inside to wear down the Chiefs' defense.
Lone man back to take this punt is Letchford. That tells you a lot about the athletic ability of this guy. Blake Letchford, the quarterback, also back there returning punts, and Cherokee will start in good field position behind Blake Letchford at their own 46-yard line. Letchford, by the way, was not part of the first contest between these two teams. Pete Lopresti, the backup quarterback, threw for 144 yards in a 21-0 loss. Rob, these two teams very familiar with each other.
No question, of course, both of them coming out of the Olympic American Conference, the biggest of the Olympic Conference divisions, and they will continue to be a part or familiar with one another as they regroup for next season.
Pitch to Sean Mayers to start things for Cherokee. Mayers off to another outstanding year and a big pickup on 1st down.
Well, there you see Mayers. He's going to try to utilize that speed. We spoke before about how Township will try to go between the tackles.
Letchford, of course, the quarterback. Mayers and Haller in the backfield, along with McCool and Russo, the wide receivers. The tight end is Eastlick. Up front, it's Sweeney, Ilinsky, Frystick, Santo, and Sullivan. The offense for Cherokee, a 9-yard pickup, and that'll be the test tonight. One of the tests, Rob, for this Washington Township defense, who held Mayers to only 96 yards in the first meeting between the two teams. On second down, the give to the fullback and a first down as he crosses the 45-yard line, gets to the 43. We'll take a look at that Washington Township defense, who again will be tested tonight by the running attack of Cherokee. Rinaldi and Calden, Mosley, and Carey up front for the Minutemen. Nysick, O'Connor, Cantwell, and Holmes, the linebackers. In the defensive secondary, it's Rojas, Kerner, and Merschel.
John Haller on the carry. You only see him carrying the ball 3 or 4 times tonight just to keep that Township defense honest.
1st and 10, and flags before this play can get off.
Well, right from the outset, Jack, you saw the difference between these two offensive philosophies. Township's going to try to pound the ball inside between the tackles. If Cherokee is forced to run the ball inside the tackles, they're going to be in trouble.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment defense.
The call from Al Shoup. You see the rest of our crew here tonight for the South Jersey Group IV Semifinal. All the officials, of course, from the NJISAA. 1st down and 5, and the pass is dropped out in the flat that time by Luis Russo.
Now, Blake Letchford, the quarterback of this Cherokee team, this is his first year as the starting quarterback. Came in a 3-year starter at the safety spot. And you can see not a real crisp pass on the outlet to his man in the flat. And Russo typically with good hands, but Letchford is just going to throw that ball just to keep that Township defense honest, to open up the running lanes for Mayers.
Only thrown 71 times this year, but he's completed a little over 50% and hasn't thrown an interception this season. That's a big factor. 2nd down and 5. Letchford this time rolls and gets plenty of time to his left, and that's also a part of his game. Tried to turn it upfield, but he's met there immediately by Vince Carey.
Well, Vince Carey is just one of these fine linebackers on this Washington Township team. In fact, Coach Tom Brown of Washington Township says that we have the 4 finest linebackers in South Jersey, not just this conference. And here you see it, just tackling Letchford, and not only tackling him, Jack, these linebackers will punish you, and they'll do it all night.
A pickup of just a yard that time for Letchford. 3rd down and 4. Again, Mayers with the give, and Mayers with the first down as he gets to the 31.5-yard line of Washington Township.
Well, a bit of a wrinkle there from Cherokee, running between the tackles, as we mentioned, not going to be their forte tonight. Township perhaps waiting to see maybe a quick outlet pass going to Mayers. One of the things that is effective for them is that sprint draw, and we'll see that throughout the evening as well.
So the Cherokee drive continues. 1st down and 10. The back's in a straight eye. Receiver split left and right. Letchford goes to the left side. Has a receiver open for a short gain to the 25-yard line. With his first catch of the night is Keegan McCool.
Well, Keegan McCool, one of the fine hands people here on this Cherokee team. We talked to Coach Brown earlier in the week in terms of the keys to this game. He said we need to avoid the stupid penalties. The other thing we need to stop is what you see right there. Just the short passing game of Cherokee, because if they can shut that down, they feel that they can shut down Mayers as well.
Mayers the lone back this time as they send a man in motion. They'll pitch it to Mayers and come that way. He breaks it outside, uses a block, gets across the 20, still on his feet. Mayers the touchdown.
Well, that's what we spoke about, Jack. If Washington Township is going to be successful tonight, they are going to have to contain on the outside. Cherokee will outquick them. They will not outmuscle them. But so far, Mayers has just been too quick for this Township defense.
A 29-yard run, and Mayers has the Chiefs on the board, and it's quiet here on the Washington Township side. These Minutemen haven't had to play from behind a whole lot this season. They're down now 6-0 as Scanzano will try to tack on the extra point. The experienced kicker splits the uprights, and it's 7-0. 6:44 to go. on the strength of Sean Mayer's 29-yard field goal, and John Scott's team is off and running. Watch this block on the end here. Just long enough, Rob, for Mayers to turn the corner.
There you see it. Again, Mayers just getting out on that quick pitch, and a good lead block by the wide receivers of this Cherokee team. Lou Russo with the big block to spring Mayers. And, you know, you mentioned that Township not used to playing from behind. In fact, that touchdown, the first this year for Cherokee against Township. Of course, last game they were blank 21-0. Now, again, we mentioned, Jack, special teams not necessarily the strong point of this Township team. Conversely, Cherokee head coach John Scott feels real good about his kickoff coverage. We'll see if that continues to be a trend.
They had problems on the opening kickoff, dropping the football. Let's see how it goes this time around on the kickoff following the touchdown. Opening drive TD by Cherokee, and the Chiefs with a 7-0 lead. Scanzano, the senior, gets ready to boot it away. This a little bit more of a line drive kick, and it's picked up by Darby. He comes straight ahead, gets a few blocks, and gets all the way out to the 39-yard line. So a pretty good return. That's where Washington Township will take over, down 7-0. We'll be right back.
This game is brought to you by Sports Paradise. For over 25 years, your store for the largest selection of sneakers, boots, and clothing from Nike, New Balance, Reebok, and more. And we have the best selection of Timberland around. All this at the best prices. Sports Paradise. Check us out today at Willingboro and Medford, New Jersey.
CN8 Extra tonight. A mother in need of a life-saving operation. A daughter praying for a miracle. It's a story of love, hope, and courage, and a surprise ending you don't want to miss. A CN8 Extra survivor story tonight on CN8 News.
The wizardry, the fantasy, the magic, the soundtrack. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, from the film everyone's been waiting for. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the soundtrack. Album in stores now. Free poster inside, plus limited edition card that unlocks your chance to win hundreds of Harry Potter prizes. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited.
Hi, neighbor. I'm Crazy Cow. You know, on Heritage's store signs. In Heritage's, find farm fresh dairy foods, including milk and ice cream, some of my favorites. Breakfast sandwiches, delicious varieties of coffee, fresh subs, and so much more. On the go, pick up quality products like Dietz and Watson lunch meats and Hers potato chips. A perfect combination for family fun. Available in Heritage's family delis. Stop on by and let our family serve your family with Heritage's magic.
First down for the Minutemen at their own 39-yard line. And on first down, the fake handoff to Bryant. Keeping the football is Kerner, and he's tripped in the backfield.
Well, as you mentioned, Kerner, a fine athlete, and probably the biggest surprise for this Township team this year. Not expected to be the starting quarterback, and has been very successful. Here you see him as he bootlegs out. Looked like it was designed strictly to be a run there, and some tight defense by Cherokee. And again, you're not going to outquick this Cherokee team.
Nice play by John Heller, who holds that to no gain. Second down and 10. Again, Kerner will look to throw. The left-hander floats it out. It's up in the air. That was up for grabs, and it fell incomplete.
Well, we mentioned that Kerner's a baseball player, but needs to bring that down, maybe hit a cutoff man to his wide receiver. The ball just had too much air underneath it and got away with something. As you can see, it just not maybe following through. It looked like a dying quail out there. That was Billy Kilmer-esque. And Blake Letchford, the opposing quarterback, who's also the free safety for this Cherokee team, almost coming up with a big interception.
So the incomplete makes it 3rd and 10. Kerner's thrown 2 straight times. On the option, they'll pitch it to Bryant. He's got a little room and is caught after a gain of just 2 or 3. 5 orange uniforms around Bryant as he tried to speed around the corner.
Well, Fred Von Bryant is fantastic back for this Washington Township team. But last week they had 3 100-yard runners. Von Bryant was not one of them. Here you see it again. utilizing some of that speed, trying to break it outside. But again, Cherokee just a little bit too quick, able to string it out and shut down that run.
So Washington Township still looking for their first down. Will have to punt it away again. The punt is up. It's high. Letchford will have to go chase. Now gets away from it, which was the right play, and the ball will be downed at the 26-yard line. So Cherokee will take over with 5:01 to go here in the first quarter. It's 7-0 Chiefs, as the Minutemen have come out a little sluggish offensively to start this one.
Well, that's got to be a big boost for Cherokee. Anytime you come off of a game versus a team and you just were unable to get it across the end zone or get it into the end zone, you have to have second thoughts. You have to have some doubts about yourself. But Cherokee coming up with that big score, they have to feel good about their offense now.
Howler and Mayers in the I formation. McCool with the short motion, and now the long delay in the snap I think may have caused some confusion offensively.
Dead ball foul. Snap infraction. Offense.
So that'll make it 1st and 15.
Well, Jack, we talked a little bit before about what head coach Tom Brown said the keys were for his Washington Township Minutemen. John Scott said, you know, we need to have a good day offensively. We need to score at least 2 touchdowns, control the ball, finish the drives, and we need to stop the big plays from that Washington Township offense. So far, they've done all of those things.
Delay give this time to Mayers, who's off to a good start in his own right. Only picks up a couple of yards there. Mayers had 43 yards on 3 carries and a touchdown before that one. Gets a couple of back after the penalty.
Here's that sprint draw I was mentioning earlier. Letchford will simply go back and let Mayers do his thing. Mayers with 96 yards in his last game versus Washington Township. Mayers, according to the Burlington County Times, is the all-time leading rusher in Burlington County history.
Over 4,000 yards in his career now. Letchford through traffic, turns it upfield, is across the 25 and taken down at the 30-yard line.
And that's what Blake Letchford brings you as an offensive man, as the quarterback, some elusiveness. Again, you're not going to get a lot of deep throws from Letchford, but if he can continue to hit the short gains and maybe open up some things out in the flat, it'll allow Mayers some room to operate and also allow him to pick up 6-7 yards on the keepers.
Well, he picked up 7 there and will give his team a 3rd down and 5. Need to get out across the 35 for a first down. Township shows a little pressure at the line of scrimmage. Now the linebackers back up a little bit. The fake pitch, and there they come to that quick out to McCool. McCool, though, covered well on the outside and tackled out there by Chris Nizick.
Well, again, Chris Nizick is just one of these fine linebackers on this Washington Township team. Again, as I mentioned, that's the type of passing you're going to get from Letchford all night long, and Nizick just equal to the task. Tom Brown says he is all South Jersey quality as a linebacker. In fact, he says he is the hardest hitter I've ever had here at Washington Township, and that's saying something.
Charlie Rojas back to get this Scanzano punt. A good kick by Scanzano. Good hang time and nowhere to go that time for Rojas. Well, that's what special teams can do for you. You talked about it earlier, Rob. Special teams can be a big factor in high school football, and a guy who can give you hang time on a punt like that's going to let your coverage team get down and make a play.
Scanzano, a fine kicker. There you see Evan Brown, who is a cornerback for this team, has excellent speed and obviously a big factor on special teams, out on the wing and coming up with the big play here. Again, you get a sense just from the special teams play, the momentum going Cherokee's way here early. There you see Mike Kerner, or excuse me, Steve Kerner, the brother of Mike Kerner. Mike Kerner, of course, had a fine career baseball-wise.
We got a penalty here, Rob, that's going to push the Minutemen back deeper in their own territory. It looks like the initial indication is a clip on the return. Kerner, by the way, you're looking at him, is standing all the way back at his 10-yard line. So they're going to spot this thing somewhere around between the 10 and the 15. There you see our officials getting ready to mark it off. And here they come. Second penalty called on the Minutemen tonight. But this one hurts, as they would have had the ball out across the 30, now back at the 17-yard line.
Well, as we mentioned, Steve Kerner, the half-brother of Mike Kerner, who had a fine career at LSU, won a national championship with Skip Burtman and the crew.
Give was to the first man, and that was Harris, Shea Harris, with the carry. And he does get out across the 20 to the 21 for a pickup of 4.
Here again, you see trying to run between the tackles, and Washington Township with the mindset that they will simply wear down this Cherokee defense. Township with tremendous size on the offensive line, countering Cherokee's quickness.
This time Bryant in the slot to the left of Kerner. Hard count on 2nd down and 6. They'll slide inside once again, and the give this time is to Steve Ramick. Ramick's 3rd carry of the night. He picks up 1 or 2.
Now here you see Ramick again trying to cut it inside, but a fine tackle made there by Pete Lepresti. In fact, Lepresti, probably the smartest kid on this Cherokee defense, according to head coach John Scott. Ramick, an interesting story. He's undersized. He's 5'6", 160 pounds, but he's one of the strongest kids on this Washington Township team, and a real smart kid as well, likely to go to MIT.
On 3rd down, Kerner will set the throw. He's got time across the middle. It goes in and out of the hands that time of Vince Carey. Incomplete, and so the Minutemen again, after 3 plays, will have to punt it away.
Well, Vince Carey, typically very good hands. He's a threat catching the football. Here you see a good fake. And Kerner getting some good protection, has some time in the pocket, lets go of it. And again, typically, Carey's going to catch that ball. It was thrown behind him, but that's a catch that typically you want your tight end to make.
3 offensive series now for Washington Township, and 3 3-and-out series. Shea Harris will come on to punt it once again. Letchford to receive it for Cherokee. There's one that goes off the side of the foot, and will take a bounce out of play in Washington Township territory at the 45-yard line. So that time Harris a little problem on the kick, and the Chiefs with excellent field position here and holding a 7-0 lead.
Well, Blake Letchford is a fine returner, and don't be surprised if they try to avoid kicking it to him. But there you see what can go wrong. Just a little bit off, and all of a sudden you see Cherokee with fine field position here.
On 1st down, they'll go with Haller up the middle, the fullback to the 42-yard line.
Not to take anything away from Haller, but he is simply not the threat that Sean Myers is. And they're simply going to give the Haller the ball maybe 1 every 3 or 4 series just to keep this Washington Township defense honest. He's typically the lead blocker for Mayers.
4 for Howard that time. It's 2nd and 6. Again, that straight I formation with the receivers split left and right. Letchford will look to throw. Now he sees an opening up the middle and takes off, has the 1st down across the 35 to the 34-yard line.
Now Blake Letchford, you see, he looks like he's in a little bit of pain here, and that is a loss that Cherokee cannot afford. Here's Letchford, looks out to the flat, nothing there, and as we mentioned before, this is what Letchford brings to you as an offensive coordinator.
Oh, that's a knee.
Yeah, it looks like the left knee is still grabbing it, and that is going to be a big loss if Letchford has to leave the game. Now, remember, Jack, Letchford is not just the quarterback, and we saw that he returns the punts, but he's also a starter on defense. In fact, head coach John Scott said this is only the 2nd person in his career he's had to play both ways. Now, here you see Letchford breaking in, and right there, the twist of the knee. And you'll see afterwards, he goes right down to grab that knee immediately, the left knee, and there you see the trainer working on it.
Let me tell you something, though. This Letchford, is a gamer. And you can see quickly up to his feet and appears to be okay. He really twisted that thing. We could see it in the replay well. But it'll take a lot to keep Letchford out. He was out earlier this year with a concussion, but appears to be okay now. And we'll try to run off that twist of the knee.
As you mentioned, he missed the season earlier, missed 3 games due to a concussion, suffered in the opener versus Camden Catholic. And here you see the play once again, and right there is where you see the twist of the knee, and immediately goes to grab it.
On first down, they'll keep it on the ground. Kevin Brumel is the backup quarterback, and guess what? Fumble on the play. The crowd erupts here. Somehow the Minutemen end up with a football. Here's another look.
Well, there you see the scrum. It's hard to make heads or tails of what happened there exactly, but indeed it's going to be Washington Township football.
Boy, that looked innocent enough, but somehow the Minutemen end up with a football.
Bob Cowden with the recovery.
So let's see if that's the spark that Washington Township's been looking for. Kerner to throw on first down, under pressure. Almost sacked, got away with a football, but threw it incomplete. Well, he avoids the loss on the play.
Well, Scott Evans all over Kerner there. Here you see Kerner again getting out of the pocket. A threat to run, and now just trying to buy time, but just cannot buy enough as Scott Evans is draped all over him.
Incomplete, stops the clock with 13 seconds left here in the first. It'll be 2nd and 10. Kerner so far 0 for 3 in the passing department for Washington Township. Bryant comes in motion. The blitz comes. They give it up the middle and pickup of maybe about a yard. That's it.
Well, it looked like Cherokee had a blitz on there, packing 8 or 9 people in the box.
That'll do it for the first quarter of play, and maybe a little bit of a surprise here at the beginning of this South Jersey Group IV Semifinal. Cherokee with a 7-0 lead. We'll be back with second quarter action in a moment.
This game is being brought to you by Sports Paradise, your authorized team dealers for Nike, Reebok, Asics, and more. Save up to 30% on all your team's needs, from cleats and footwear to uniforms, trophies, and coaches packages. Check us out online or call Sports Paradise.
We're 92.5 XTU, Philadelphia's country station. This is country.
Man, I feel like a woman.
This is country.
Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you.
This is Philadelphia country.
All I'm ready to do is have some fun.
This is country.
I can feel you breathe.
92.5 XTU. Admit it, you love it.
Did you know that there are 52 bones in the feet? That's 1/4 of the 206 bones in the entire body. For more feet facts, tune in Saturday mornings at 8:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Comcast Varsity Football. I'm Brian Morrow. We have a South Jersey Group 4 playoff game underway between the Cherokee Chiefs and the Washington Township Minutemen. They're out in Gloucester County in the second quarter, where the Chiefs are up 7-0. Let's get you back out to the action.
Here in the second quarter, along with Rob Christ, I'm Jack Hibbard. Welcome back. The Cherokee Chiefs with a 7-0 lead. The Minutemen, after recovering a fumble, trying to pick up their first down of the night. They are 0 for 3 on third down conversions, 0 for their first 3 drives. And looking now at a 3rd and 7. By the way, if you're wondering about Letchford, he appears to be fine. He is back in the defensive secondary, back on the field. 3rd and 7. Kerner gets the ball away and has the first down. There is a flag on the play, and it's thrown late. Could be defensive interference. Coming up with a catch is Charlie Rojas, and it appears to be enough for a first down.
That's Charlie Rojas's 44th catch this year. The pass interference call will go against Cherokee. Rojas, perhaps their biggest threat at the wideout spot.
They're just talking about the yardage here, Rob, and whether or not Remember, interference in high school from the line of scrimmage, not from the spot of the foul. So they're discussing what the difference is between the gain of the play and the penalty yardage. Of course, you wouldn't expect the Cherokee coaches to agree with the call. Well, John Scott's, Rob, got to be happy. It's hard to tell with John. John, not the most expressive guy in the world, but he's got to be happy at least with the start of this ball game and the job that his defense has done so far. This just the first down of the night, and officially they're going to get it on a penalty. Here's the call.
Pass interference, defense, first down.
Well, you mentioned John Scott, not particularly pleased with this call, but pleased with his performance of his team here. There you see it, and you have to question where the pass interference was. Perhaps we didn't pick it up, but even watching it from our perspective, Jack, it was tough to see a pass interference call, but nonetheless, it's a first down either way.
At the Cherokee 49-yard line, first time tonight that the Minutemen have been in enemy territory. Steve Ramick with the carry on first down gets to the 45.
As we mentioned, Ramick, 5'6", and this offense, this Washington Township offense, is that Delaware wing T. And there you see Ramick, tremendous strength and continuing to power forward. This wing T is very effective, Jack, because this offense is run all the way from the midgets up in Washington Township. And they're very familiar with the terminology. They're very familiar with the sets, the symbols, the signals, everything.
Very few places where I've seen the wing T, Rob, that's not successful. They run it well here. They obviously run it well in Delaware. Going deep and downfield, and a nice play down there defensively to break up the pass. Evan Brown, who's off to a good start tonight, was step for step that time with Steve Ramick.
Well, Evan Brown, we mentioned before, a tremendous cover guy, and there you saw it, he making up some speed. 4 interceptions on the year for Brown. He leads this Cherokee defense in interceptions, and Kerner just needed to lead Ramick a little bit more, but instead Brown making up for it, and that's what speed can do for you, Jack.
Well, another third down conversion opportunity here. Ramick in motion. He'll get the call on third down. Falls a little shy of the first down yardage, being caught at the 40-yard line. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 1. Let's see what Tom Brown will do here on 4th down. Here's the run by Ramick.
Again, Ramick, the short yardage guy here, continuing to pound the ball inside. And that's where Washington Township's bread and butter is, in between the tackles. We've got a player down right now for Township. So this will be a loss for the Township team. It looks to be an offensive lineman, but it will also give the head coach Tom Brown an opportunity to think about exactly what he wants to do here. It looks to be number 54, Nick Attore. Nick Attore is again one of these, something that we take for granted, Jack, is that of course these fine athletes are also tremendous students, many of them, and Attore is just another example of that. He's likely to attend Johns Hopkins University, and a fine student here at Washington Township.
He got back to the huddle, but then struggled to even stay on his feet at that time. There's Tom Brown, who historically has always coached from atop the press box, and it must be pretty successful, I'd say. Tom has done just about nothing but win here at Washington Township. 9-0 this season, 181, 57, and 7 in his career. It's an outstanding job here at Washington Township.
Well, of course, you mentioned that he does nothing but win here at Washington Township. Prior to coming here to Township, he was the head coach at Paulsboro, and he had a 57-15-3 record there. So, as you mentioned, he's been nothing but successful. Of course, Paulsboro's fine football tradition continues. They're playing Woodbury in the playoffs this week.
So it looks like Attore is going to be helped to his feet. And again, that looks like either an ankle or a knee. That's no easy job right there to take the big guy off the field. Attore at 5'10", 210 pounds listed. He gets a hand from the crowd here at Washington Township. An outstanding crowd here tonight as the bleachers are pretty much full for this big contest.
I'll tell you what's critical right here, Jack. Attore is their center. And you need to have a crisp exchange here with only 2 yards on 4th down. So that could be a factor as you have a new center getting into the ball game.
It'll be 4th and nearly 2. And Tom Brown doesn't appear to have wavered from his decision here. Now, again, in this situation, sometimes you can get a long snap count, maybe a barking snap count to try to draw Cherokee off. They're showing pressure at the line of scrimmage. The play gets off, and there goes Kerner on the fake. Kerner to the 15. Touchdown.
Well, that was a great run by Steve Kerner. But give credit to this Washington Township coaching staff. A phenomenal call. Everybody on Cherokee bid on the inside play between the tackles, trying to muscle it between the tackles, as we mentioned, all night long. But Kerner, with the keep, goes all the way. A great call by this Township coaching staff.
Well, an outstanding fake, and the 7th rushing touchdown of the season for Steve Kerner. Had a chance now for the Minutemen to tie this one up. The freshman Murph Trout on for the extra point. Trouble on the snap. They'll have to try to pick up the 2-point conversion. It is no good.
Well, it was Rojas with the throw, trying to find anybody. Ended up making a pretty decent throw, but it just short hopped the intended receiver. That, of course, would have been a 2-point conversion.
But it falls shy. Here's another look at that outstanding fake and the touchdown run by Kerner.
Well, here you see him. He has nothing but smooth sailing. Letchford trying to dive and make the touchdown saving tackle just a little too late on the play. But Jack, you know, this Cherokee team is a bunch of scrappers. They're survivors. A couple weeks ago, they play an Eastern team. Eastern comes back, has an opportunity to tie the score. They miss the extra point. That ended up costing them. Cherokee defeated Eastern by the score of 20-19. We'll see if that extra point comes into play later in this ball game.
It's actually the turnover, too, Rob, that sets up that touchdown, that fumble recovery by Bob Cowden. And then 6 plays, 66 yards. Here's the extra point attempt.
Again, you see Rojas finds a man in the end zone, but unable to hold on to it. A good throw. It looked initially as if he short hopped it, but no, the ball was there and just unable to hold on to it. And again, we'll see how big of a factor that is.
Well, keep in mind, both of these teams have an excellent kicking game. Scanzano for Cherokee, and of course the freshman Murph Trout with an outstanding leg for Washington Township.
Murph Trout, an interesting story, Jack. He is the son of David Trout. If that name rings a bell, he was the kicker locally for the Philadelphia and Baltimore Stars. Prior to that, kicked in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coming out of the University of Pittsburgh, played for the legendary Johnny Majors. And he has said that his son, Murph, his real name is Meredith, actually, is a finer kicker than he was. And Coach Tom Brown likes him at the quarterback position.
Just a freshman. He'll be a big part of this team in years to come. Merschel will kick it off for the Minutemen. Goes in between the two returners, and here comes Brown. Evan Brown needs to tuck that ball away, and finally does. Gets out to the 24-yard line. Pretty good job by Brown, who really had problems on that return. We've got a down man for Cherokee on this return.
That looks like Kevin Macarella, who is a starter.
And Macarella holding the right knee. With the injury, we'll take a break. 9:59 to go. 7-6 Cherokee.
This beautiful little girl is Maria. She lives overseas with her family in this horrible slum. Maria must walk these rocky, filthy streets barefoot because her family is so poor. They can't even afford a pair of shoes. Hello, I'm Walter Coppage for Children International. Please, call the number on your screen now. We'll send you this free, no-obligation information kit with a photo and family history of a little boy or girl who needs you. You'll learn how you can give one special child overseas, like Maria, a pair of shoes and so much more. Then if you decide to become our sponsor, your monthly gift is only $15. Your $15 will help provide medical care, clothing, emergency food, essentials for a good education, and more. But remember, there is no obligation and the information kit is absolutely free. So please, call now. Call 1-800-266-4618. That's 1-800-266-4618.
That's fine.
7-6 Cherokee as we resume play here in the second quarter. 9:59 to go. As Washington Township has gotten back to within a point. The injured player, Macarella, for Cherokee has been helped to the side of the field. They'll go on first down here at the 24. Mayer's the lone back. McCool in motion for the Chiefs. The pitch to Mayers. Bounces it outside again, tries to turn the corner, and is shoved out of play before he can get many yards that time. Matt Murschel in to make the play for the Minutemen.
Well, here again you see the quick pitch out to Mayers, trying to break it outside. This time Washington Township with a better job of containment. You know, both of these coaches coming into tonight, Jack, said we need to stop the big play. That is a critical need for our defense. Both of the touchdowns coming on the big play.
Mayers a 29-yard touchdown run, and of course the run moments ago by Kerner of 40 yards. They'll go right back to Mayers, who dances through traffic and gets out near a first down.
Well, again, we mentioned before, Cherokee will mix it up inside. They'll run a few traps. Mayers has been successful going inside and outside. One of the things John Scott says that Mayers is doing a little bit more of this year, he's trying to be a little bit more of a power runner. He would prefer him to try to increase his elusiveness, but Mayers has continued to his strength, his conditioning, and now enjoys running over people as much as running around them.
1,320 yards coming in on 231 carries. He has, as he always has been, a workhorse for this Cherokee team. Gets it again, tries to bounce it outside, and had it not been for Murschel making a shoestring tackle there, Mayers may have been off for a lot more.
Well, again, Mayers with not only elusiveness and the power that we spoke about, but he also has tremendous speed, and that's why that tackle was huge. Mayers, over 50 touchdowns in his career, has run over 4,200 yards in his last 3 years, and what makes him effective is once he sees that hole develop, he doesn't need much room. He hits those holes so quickly.
2nd and 6. Washington Township showing some pressure this time, and Brummel gets rid of the football. Again, that is Kevin Brummel in the ball game as quarterback right now. And again, another turnover. And again, it came late. It looked like after the catch, the ball was dropped. And the second consecutive turnover on 2 straight series for Cherokee.
Well, some confusion reigning along those Cherokee sidelines. Again, Jack, the play seemed relatively innocent. I'm looking to see what the yardage was in terms of the gain, and the next thing you know, you have Washington Township players celebrating.
Those have got to be among the 2 mildest turnovers I've ever seen. That might be the wrong word, Rob, but I mean, both of the plays look like they were long dead.
They're stealth-like.
Minutemen with great field position at the 45, and here comes Bryant around the corner. He's met by the other 15. Evan Brown comes up to make the stop on Bryant after a gain of only a yard.
Well, Evan Brown has come up big all game long.
We're going to try to pick up the turnover here. Watch this. Brummel with the throw. And what in the world happens here? I think they just take the ball away. They do.
They simply strip the ball right out of the receiver's hands.
Charlie Rojas, number 8, just pulled that ball right out of the wicket of Luis Russo.
Of course, Rojas is the holder, had that pass that fell incomplete for the 2-point conversion.
Bryant got only a yard, so it's 2nd and 9. Bryant comes in motion again. They fake the handoff to him this time. Kerner with time, throws on the run, looking long, and overthrows the intended receiver, number 44, the tight end, Vince Carey.
Well, Vince Carey had nothing but end zone in front of him. Beat his man by a good 5 or 6 steps. Kerner throwing on the run and just had a little bit too much juice under it. Here you see the good fake to Bryant. Kerner very effective getting out of that pocket, throws off the back foot, and again, just too much on it as Carey had his man beaten easily.
Kerner now 0 for 5 in the passing department. 3rd down and 9. They'll keep it on the ground this time. Kerner tried that fake again, and this time he gets thrown for a loss.
Well, again, that Cherokee defense says, you can fool me one time, but you're not going to fool me twice. A big play there as Cherokee shuts down, and that's John Holler. Here's a guy that just flat out loves to hit, and anytime you can get a lick in on the opposing quarterback, you got to be happy. Here you see a Kerner with the inside fake and just nothing doing there. Holler wrestling him down to the ground.
Boy, the score a little deceiving from this standpoint, Rob. This offense struggling a little bit, except for the one drive, just 1 of 6 in 3rd down conversions, and now Township will use the timeout.
Well, you mentioned before that Kerner has been unable to complete a pass thus far. He did have one completion, of course, getting the 1st down, but that was nullified by the penalty. They opted to take the penalty. Other than that, Kerner unable to do so. You know, Washington Township is probably going to rely on that big offensive line, and they'd really like to take advantage of those 4 fine running backs, but Kerner has to keep this Cherokee defense honest.
Well, they tried to go to the well again with the fake handoff and then the bootleg by Kerner, and as you mentioned, staying at home was Haller that time to make the defensive stop. I don't think there's any question you'll see a punt here. In fact, Shea Harris is loosening up out of your picture to the left.
Now, of course, we have a close game thus far, and if it stays this way, you have to wonder, is the advantage to Cherokee? Cherokee is typically played in the close games. Last week, they scored a touchdown with 4 minutes remaining to beat Southern to get to this game. The week prior to that, they beat Eastern by 1 point. Washington Township, up until this point, has pretty much had their way with most of the teams.
Harris with time. He gets it away. Good hang time this time. Evan Brown picks it up at the 14-yard line, and he's dropped right away.
Well, some good punt coverage there by Washington Township, and there you see Rojas, who's done a great job. It's almost a battle between defensive backs today. Rojas and Evan Brown for Cherokee, both coming up big all evening long thus far. Rojas is 5'8", 155, a senior. Again, a two-way starter, and he's their go-to guy on offense at the wide receiver spot.
So 1st down and 10. The give to Mayers. Mayers again gets to the outside, tries to work off a block and gets another 11 or 12 yards before he's knocked out at the 31-yard line.
And that's what I was talking about, Jack. Mayers has developed not into just a quick, fleet runner. He's also developed into a power runner. Here he is outside, and now it's time to start muscle up. Just pounding through this Washington Township defense. Takes 3 men to finally bring him down after he breaks those first 2 initial tackles. And Mayer, very big game, and that's exactly what John Scott and the Cherokee Chiefs need this evening.
8 carries, 73 yards here in the 1st half for Mayers. He gets it again on 1st down, this time just a yard or 2. Hanging on for dear life that time was big number 55 Mike O'Connor.
Again, here you see Mayers hitting the hole quickly, but this time it's O'Connor who is equal to the task. And in speaking with the Eastern coaching staff, just to get a feel for these 2 different teams, spoke to one of the assistant coaches there, Jim Bevere, and he just loves Mike O'Connor. In fact, Coach Tom Brown says this guy's a definite Division I player. He said he hits like a Mack truck.
2nd down, 2nd and 8 for the Chiefs. Again, out of that eye. Gumel looking to the sideline. He's got a receiver open, and another completed pass into Washington Township territory at the 38-yard line. Running underneath it and pulling it down was Louis Rousseau. Rousseau coughed it up a moment ago. This time he hangs on for the big game.
Well, here's the play-action pass, and this is what Brumell brings you that Letchford doesn't. A good arm, and he finds Rousseau down on the sideline. Rousseau now with 30 catches on the season, and he had one of the big touchdowns in that Eastern game. Rousseau and the other wideout, Keegan McCool, very capable for this Chiefs offense.
So the Chiefs threatening again with the ball on the Minutemen 40-yard line. A 1st and 10. Their 6th first down of this first half. The delay give to Mayers. He's got room again over the right side, and Mayers to the 35. Another pickup of 5 or 6 for Sean Mayers.
Well, you know, the mindset of this Cherokee offense is that we just need the threat of the pass. You know, if you want to liken it to a team in the NFL, here again you see Mayers just pounding the defensive backs on this Washington Township team. You kind of liken it to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL. Listen, we just need to keep the defense honest once in a while. Otherwise, we're going to go to a big guy, and we're going to keep working that ball down the field, using clock, and keeping our defense off the field.
2nd and 5. Rumel this time with plenty of time to his left side. Throws across his body and throws the pick. Intercepted on the play by Dan Holmes. And the 3rd turnover by Cherokee here in the first half.
Well, Dan Holmes coming up with a huge play. It's been Cherokee shooting themselves in the foot all night long. Otherwise, the score may be appreciably different. But Holmes just in great position. And Jack, Brumell, that was just an ill-advised pass, and I'm sure Brumell will tell you the same thing.
Well, it needed more zip, and as I mentioned, he's throwing across his body. That's a very difficult pass to make, and it didn't have enough on it to get to the receiver. Nice play by Holmes. 1st and 10 for Washington Township. Bryant now across the 40 for a yard before he's met head on.
You know, again, Bryant probably the feature back in this Delaware wing T for Washington Township, and you kind of get a sense that maybe there's an element of frustration because Bryant had a subpar game for himself last week, and you know he wants a big game here against one of Township's major rivals.
Came in with 959 yards. There's a look at Macarella, who was injured earlier. Remember on the kickoff he was injured, and he looks like he's re-injured whatever was bothering him before.
Well, if there's one word that you could use to describe this Cherokee tradition, and they do have a fine tradition, it's just toughness. They seem to perform, or they seem to outlive expectations year in and year out, and this year is no different. Cherokee was not expected to be here at the start of the season. They've done a great job, and kudos to John Scott and the staff.
3-yard pickup that last carry for Bryant, so it's 2nd and 7. They've done a pretty good job with this backfield so far. Bryant with just 7 yards, Harris with 8, Ramick with 18. Still a long way to go. Kerner with time. Comes across the middle to the tight end. Carey's got it at the 43-yard line for a Washington Township first down.
Right there is typical Vince Carey. We talked about it before. He had a drop earlier in the game. This is a big catch. You see Kerner again with a little sprint out, keeping somewhat of the pocket intact, but again a big hit laid on by on Carey, but instead this time it's Carey holding on to the ball.
Letchford, by the way, is not in the ball game right now defensively for Cherokee, and of course he has not returned at quarterback. The inside handoff this time to Harris. Shea Harris to the 37-yard line. I said Harris. Of course, that was Ryan Cantwell getting the call.
Yes, Cantwell, the junior, 5'10", 195. Tom Brown has been effusive when talking about Ryan Cantwell. He said he has just had a sensational year, plays fullback spot, and also one of these fine linebackers.
Cantwell remains in. Here comes Bryant in motion. They'll give it to him. Fred Bryant across the 35 to the 33-yard line and close to a Minuteman first down.
And you just kind of get the feel here, Jack, that Cherokee has suffered a bit of an emotional letdown. They really had a fine drive working, and here again the big holes laid out by that fine Washington Township offensive line, and right now they're just simply beating on this Cherokee defense.
Well, it's a tough way for the Cherokee defense to have to play. As you mentioned, Rob, the offense, the last 3 possessions for Cherokee, there's been a fumble, and an interception. 3 turnovers here. Fortunate to be leading right now 7-6. But the Minutemen with a first down here, I believe. Yes, indeed. And the drive continues.
Well, the ball spotted at the 33. We've got just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half. As you mentioned, Cherokee with the 7-6 lead, and Cherokee has to be very pleased. 3 turnovers, still with the lead. Washington Township, conversely, has to feel that we really need to punch this ball in here.
First and 10. Cantwell stays in, lined up right behind Kerner. Bryant again comes from the slot. The play action pass. Here comes the screen. Cantwell's got it and got blocking in front of him. Gets to the 25.5-yard line. Good pickup on first down for Cantwell, and the screen, Rob, set up well.
Set up very well. Again, there you see Ryan Cantwell, just a junior, 5'10", 195. Kind of that bowling ball form that you like out of your fullback. And again, a nice little fake here to Bryant. Kerner sold it well, and there you see he's got a whole crew of Minutemen in front of him, and just a fine play there, cutting it down. The Cherokee defenseman, Holler.
2nd and 4. They'll go straight up the middle. Cantwell again with the call, shy of the first down. You know, it was interesting on that screenplay as they take another look at the run by Cantwell here, good for just a yard or two. The screenplay, Rob, they had 3 guys blocking 1 Chief. They actually had almost too many guys blocking 1 player. They needed more players downfield, or else that would have gone for big yardage because it was set up very, very well.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what we talked about before, the grittiness of this Cherokee team.
Well, Washington Township, Rob, just 1 of 6 in 3rd down conversions. Let's see what they do here on 3rd and 3. Inside again they go. Kerner keeps it, and he's got the first down. Boy, he's been the money back tonight, hasn't he? When they've really needed something, he's come up big.
Well, head coach Tom Brown says we have 4 great backs. The 4th, of course, being Kerner. And here you see Kerner getting the yardage, and now does the spinorama, not once but twice, just working his way forward, picking up that extra yardage.
And by the way, Kerner tonight is the back. He leads the team so far in rushing with 4 carries and 45 yards, including the big touchdown run. This is the 8th play of the drive now, 1:20 and counting down here till halftime. They'll again go on the ground.
And I tell you what, that is a phenomenal play right there by the Cherokee defensive lineman, number 68. That was Brendan Sullivan. And I'll tell you why. They had the blitz here. If Sullivan doesn't get a piece of him, then he is off to the races.
Rob, the clock beginning to be a factor now. 55 seconds to go here till halftime as Township takes almost the full 25 seconds to get this play off. Kerner will probably have to go to the air now, and he does. Under pressure and caught in the backfield. He's sacked back at the 25, and the Minutemen will call for a timeout. Finally given with 37 seconds left till halftime.
Well, again, here you see Kerner, and the pocket just simply breaking down, and a big tackle made here by Cherokee's Dan Ike. A big play here, and we may see the freshman Trout come out for a field goal. It would be a long one, but a timeout here for Township. You're probably going to see Township try to pick up, if not the first down, at least some considerable yardage, and maybe go off to the locker room with at least a 2-point lead.
Well, they still have 1 timeout remaining. This is their 2nd, so 1 to go here. So you're right. If they come up shy of the first down, you know, they don't have to worry about getting out of play or stopping the clock. They've got a timeout and could get Trout on. Now, again, if you're thinking that way, it's going to be a long field goal no matter what, because even if you pick up 10 yards or so on this play, you're still talking about a somewhere in the range of a 35-yard field goal.
There you see Trout. Coach Brown says his range probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 45 yards. As you mentioned, incomplete pass falls here, then we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about 42 yards. So theoretically, that is within Trout's range. I asked Coach Brown, I said his name is Murph. Now, how does Murph come from Meredith? He said, I don't know. I asked him, and he didn't really want to tell me. So a tough enough time with Meredith. Now he's Murph.
On 3rd down, Kerner will try to take off. He's caught in the backfield. Staying at home and making the play is Pete Lepresti. That's another loss. So now instead of a 42-yard field goal, you'd be looking here more at about a 45-yard attempt with 30.6 seconds left.
Well, it looks like they will bring out Trout. And I'll tell you what, Jack, I'm a little bit surprised that Township calls that timeout right away and still opts to go for the field goal. That's a play where perhaps a little bit of inexperience out on the field. Obviously, you'd like to run that clock down as much as you possibly can. Now, in speaking with the head coach, Tom Brown, about his kicker, the one thing that Trout does very well is he gets that ball up right away. A good sign of leg strength. So it's unlikely you're going to see a block here.
We saw, though, earlier this year, the game that we did with Washington Township, problems on the snap and the hold, and we saw it earlier tonight. Remember, on the extra point attempt, they didn't get the ball back effectively to the holder. And if there's been one problem that Trout's had, it really hasn't been his kicking. It's been the rest of the team that surrounds the opportunity. Rojas will hold it. A 45-yard attempt for Murph Trout, who again has the leg to do it. Cherokee will try a timeout. I'm not sure whether they were set or whether they're going to try to ice the freshman. That's the Chiefs' first timeout. 30.6 seconds to go here till halftime. So even if he makes it, Cherokee will get the ball back. And as Rob, you mentioned, again, they probably should have let some time run off the clock and then call the timeout, but they called for it right away, and there you see the game reset. Washington Township down by a point will try to go up on a 45-yard attempt here by Trout.
You mentioned before the problems that they've had in terms of converting the extra points, converting the field goals. We saw that earlier today. The problem is that their center is too good. Now, that sounds a little bit crazy, but he centers the ball so hard and snaps the ball so hard. The University of Maryland is looking at him perhaps as just a long snapper. And they've had such a tough time holding on to the snap. And we'll see again if that's a problem that develops here.
So here we go on 4th and 16, and there it is. Problems on the snap. Trout now will try to make something of nothing. He throws long and it falls incomplete. So the Chiefs will get it back with 23.6 seconds. And if you're saying he's too strong, I believe you, Rob. That one sailed almost into Burlington County.
Well, the other thing that I was kind of impressed with was Trout really had some composure, picked up the ball. We mentioned before he's just a freshman, but Coach Brown likes him as a quarterback. And here you see it. Has some composure, looks downfield, finds the strings on the ball, and lays one out. I mean, that was not a bad pass. Of course, no one really in the vicinity, but he got some air underneath it, threw it downfield, made the best of a bad situation.
Well, we mentioned it before. They've had problems on special teams, particularly in the snap. Now they had it again there. 23.6 seconds. Cherokee still has a couple of timeouts, but it looks like they'll be content to go to the locker room with a lead as Brumell will take a knee. John Scott says not bad. 3 turnovers and we still lead it at halftime. How about that? The Cherokee Chiefs 7, the Washington Township Minutemen 6 as they head to the locker room. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment.
Have you ever felt like you couldn't make ends meet? I know I have. If you currently receive insurance settlement payments, prize winnings, or any annuity, Prosperity Partners can help you tie up those loose ends with money to pay bills or buy a car, maybe a new home. You could start a business or get an education, whatever you want. So if you receive an annuity and need cash now, call Prosperity Partners at 1-800-435-1213. We make life easy.
There are no stops between you and the Cayman Islands. So, less hassle, more Cayman. Vacation offers? Of course. Call your travel agent and visit CaymanIslands.ky. Relax. You're going to the Cayman Islands.
Look, I think I saw my breath.
You didn't see your breath.
I did, I saw it.
Why don't you call Sears?
Maybe I should call.
Brian, I'm cold. You're cold. It's cold.
It's time.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed heating. Get 0% financing until next March on all high-efficiency central heating systems we install. That means no billing, no payments, and no interest until March 2002. Call for a free in-home estimate.
Winner. Don't you just love it?
I'm warming up to it.
Hello, I'm Brian Morrow, and this is Comcast Varsity Football, where you'll find the best high school gridiron action 5 days a week, 2:30 to 4:30. Today we're out in Gloucester County, New Jersey for a Group IV playoff matchup between the Cherokee Chiefs and the Washington Township Minutemen. Both teams have gotten into the playoffs in large part due to their great running games. Cherokee has ran Sean Myers 231 times for 1,320 yards and 20 touchdowns, while the Minutemen have used 3 great backs, including Fred Bryant, who's rushed for 959 yards and 13 touchdowns. Both teams look to run the ball often today, and both know whoever stops the run will probably win. So far, Cherokee's been stopping the run well, only giving up 81 yards on the ground. The Minutemen have had 5 different ball carriers, with quarterback Steve Kerner as the leading rusher with only 36 yards. The Chiefs, on the other hand, have been exploding with their rushing attack. Myers has 80 yards on 10 carries so far. Earlier in the season, if you remember, the Minutemen held Myers to 96 yards in the whole game, but today it looks as though Sean may have found his groove. So despite turning the ball over 3 times, the Chiefs have held the Minutemen to just 4 first downs and currently lead 7-6. Let's get you back now for second half action.
He has another decent punt picked up at the 17-yard line, and Rojas is caught as he crosses the 20. At the 25, down on coverage for the Chiefs is John Denker.
Well, that was not one of Scanzano's better punts, but some good punt coverage coming up to lay out the big hit on Rojas. As you mentioned, Denker, there are 2 Denkers on this team. John Denker, the senior, the junior, Nick Denker, and both of them relatively close in size and really a big part of this Cherokee team, both offensively and defensively.
Well, the Chiefs hold it for a little over 3 minutes, but have to punt it away. Now Washington Township with their first possession here of the second half. Bryant, who really didn't have a chance to get very involved in the offense in the first half, gets the call here on first down.
Yeah, they're going to need to get Bryant on track. Again, a good play here by Brendan Bird, the defensive end. Here you see Bryant, nothing doing there, sealed off, tries to cut it back inside. But Cherokee, in spite of being outsized inside, they're doing a fine job. And there you see the Washington Township coaching staff, trying to figure out how to solve this Cherokee defense.
Kerner to throw on second down, and he overthrows Carey in the flat, who was open and had a step on the linebacker. But the ball goes incomplete.
Kerner has had a tough day throwing the football today. Again, just 2 for 9 now. And here you see Kerner doing a good job, showing some elusiveness, getting out of the pocket, but had Carey. And again, we've seen Carey with the good hands. If it's in his neighborhood, he's probably going to come down with it.
3rd down and 7 after the incomplete as Kerner brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Quick step, quick throw, no completion. Washington Township fans calling for interference. There was a little bit of contact, but it appeared to be incidental enough for the officials to let it go. Watch, you'll see Rojas kind of get nicked a little bit right there. But
well, again, you see the quick hitter there trying to hit Rojas on the slant pattern, but the ball was uncatchable. There's no pass interference there. And a quick 3 and out here for this Washington Township offense. You know, Coach Brown wants to keep his defense off the field, but thus far that's not happening.
Well, the Minutemen, with only 4 first downs in this ball game, will punt it away, and Cherokee ought to get decent field position. Evan Brown to return it at the 45-yard line. Brown scampering around and caught at midfield. They're missing a little bit as Cherokee. The normal return man, Blake Letchford, of course, who was injured in the first half, is back out at quarterback, but Evan Brown returning punts now for the Chiefs.
Well, Evan Brown had an excellent first half. You see him limping a little bit. He has been a little banged up, but Brown trying to create some room. But the Minutemen coming up with some good special teams play thus far in this second half.
So again, great field position for the Chiefs right at the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 for Cherokee. Mayers tries to come up the middle and is clogged up this time.
Well, again, Washington Township is going to make you pay if you try to run it up the middle. Here, just a simple inside run, really as a means of creating some room on the outside for Mayers and company.
Mike Rinaldi was on the bottom of that pile, along with a host of players, holding Myers to a rare no gain. Mayers now with 128 yards on 16 carries. He's had a good night for the Chiefs, but Cherokee still leading at just 7-6. Quick out, a trademark Cherokee pass as they get it to Russo for a gain of about 5. How many years has Cherokee run this 5-yard out?
Russo again with another reception. A quick out. Letchford throwing those short passes, allowing Mayers to open up his running game. Again, as we mentioned before, this is simply a means of eating up some yardage, keeping that Washington Township defense honest. You're not going to see Blake Letchford go up on top very often. Again, the converted safety. This just his first year at the quarterback position.
Clock is stopped as Russo was shoved out of play with 7 minutes to go here in the third. 3rd and 5. Again, Washington Township shows the blitz. Play action. Letchford caught on the sack. That's the first sack for Washington Township tonight, and it came at a good time. All the way back to their own 48 go the Chiefs, and again they'll have to punt it away.
Well, here you see Washington Township sends everybody and their mother, and inside they grab Letchford, throw him down to the ground, led by Dan Holmes, the big 5'10 junior, 205 pounds. An excellent pass defender, but he also holds his own when he's rushing on those blitzes.
So now 4th and long. Scanzano on to punt again. This with better hang time. The ball turns over and drives Rojas back another 5 yards. He almost outkicked the coverage, but a good job of staying at home that time by Matt D'Alessio. Good coverage by the Chiefs downfield, and again the Minutemen start deep in their own end.
Well, D'Alessio, the 5'11 junior, coming up with a big special teams play, and thus far it's as if the field has been tilted, Jack. All of the action taking place in the Washington Township end.
Minutemen failed to pick up a first down on their only other possession here in the second half. Cherokee 7, Washington Township 6. 6:16 to go here in the third. A first down, but the ball all the way back on the Minutemen's 15-yard line. They get a short completion to Rojas for about 4 as they get the ball out to the 19.
Well, that's a good job by Kerner. Kerner getting that rush from the Cherokee Chiefs. Here you see just getting hit there, gets it away. Rojas holding on and picking up some positive yardage.
Evan Brown on the coverage for Cherokee. Again, maybe a good idea, too, to see if they can get Kerner untracked here. As you mentioned, he struggled tonight, Rob. Just 3 of 11 now passing. 2nd and 6. Inside they go, straight up the middle this time with Harris, Shea Harris getting the carry, and that's good enough for a Washington Township first down.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered for this Minuteman offense. 3 and out on the first set. This time able to mix things up on the quick out, and now a inside handoff, and the Minutemen offense trying to get untracked here. Kerner's done a good job in terms of avoiding the rush, but it's been Bryan who's been having a tough day in the backfield.
Blitz coming for Cherokee, and they stuff the run right away. Again, Shea Harris with the carry, but this time he got caught and tripped at the line of scrimmage. Still was able to push forward for a few yards.
Well, Coach Brown not afraid to use all of his running backs, trying to spread the wealth. Shea Harris, Ramick, there you see Coach Brown, and of course Fred Bryant. Kerner, although the top yardage man on the ground for this Minuteman offense.
On 2nd down, again, Cherokee showing some pressure. Long snap count by Kerner. They'll give it to Bryant. He's got a little bit of running room this time and gets out across the 35 to the 38-yard line, and another Washington Township first down. 4:36 to go. We'll be right back.
I'm a professional actor, and you may know me in my role as Santa Claus. My face is my workshop. When I suddenly got Bell's palsy, which twisted and paralyzed my face, I was frightened. After 6 months, I still only had limited recovery. I thought my career was over. Then I found treatment that helped. So can you. For nearby rehabilitation of facial palsy, please call this number for a no-charge evaluation. It helped me. It could help you.
Hi, neighbor. I'm Crazy Cow. You know, on Heritage's store signs. In Heritage's, find farm fresh dairy foods, including milk and ice cream, some of my favorites. Breakfast sandwiches, delicious varieties of coffee, fresh subs, and so much more. On the go, pick up quality products like Dietz and Watson lunch meats and Hers potato chips. A perfect combination for family fun. Available in Heritage's family delis. Stop on by and let our family serve your family with Heritage's magic.
7-6. Cherokee with the lead, but Washington Township with a couple of consecutive first downs. They're driving at their own 38-yard line. Harris gets hit in the backfield, shakes off the lick, and goes forward. Boy, I'll tell you what, a big collision from John Denker, but Harris was able to shake that off. Here's second effort for you.
Well, Shea Harris with no quit whatsoever, just going forward. He and Denker had a major league collision there. Denker just flat out loves the hit, but Shea Harris can give it as good as he gets it.
I'll tell you something, Rob. He took two big hits because the tackle by Lepresti was really a lick. He may have gone to the huddle and said, hey, how about we go with somebody else on this play? They do. Kerner pump fakes. Now tries to come over the top. Has Rojas open. He's got it and drops the football. Boy, that could have been 6. Wide open after the pump fake was Rojas, but he couldn't hang on.
Well, we've mentioned tonight, Jack, that Kerner's had a tough time in the air, but you can't fault him here. That was a well-thrown ball right on the money. Look at Kerner, some great protection back here. Pumps fakes, opens things up for Rojas, right in stride on the fingertips, and Rojas wishes he could have that back.
Boy, and Evan Brown really bit that pump fake because Rojas went breezing by, as you can see on the replay. They'll pass again on third down. Kerner under some pressure, floats it out. Carey was open, but he threw behind him. Wide open was Vince Carey, but the ball thrown on the wrong side that time.
Well, again, I've mentioned all night long, Vince Carey with good hands. And that's the second time he's been turned around. It's not a great throw from Kerner, but you expect your receivers to make this play. Here you see Kerner running against the grain, against his body as the left-hander. Carey tried to lay out for it, unable to do so. That's a big play.
So the incomplete brings up 4th and 5, and so Shea Harris on to punt it again. Cherokee with some pressure, but blocked well. Evan Brown tries to come over and field it. It takes a bounce at the 25 and will be down at the 24-yard line, where the Chiefs will come back out on offense.
Well, that's a wise play by Brown. It seems relatively innocent enough, but he watches the ball bounce, realizes he's going to have a tough time picking that cleanly, and just allows Washington Township to down the ball and said, all right, let's start from here.
3:16 to go here in the third quarter. It's 7-6 Cherokee. Chiefs scored on their opening possession tonight, and since then have really struggled offensively. Letchford scrambles to the right, now throws on the run, and he had Russo open, but that time overthrew on the run. You have to wonder a little bit, Rob, whether or not Letchford really is able to plant on that left foot, which would be the one that he would throw on. That was the one that was injured earlier. Watch, you can see gimping just a little bit, and they'll try to throw on the run here, and throws off the wrong foot.
And actually got quite a bit on that throw, which I was surprised with. However, the one thing that we failed to mention thus far is that the big part of Letchford's game is his escapability.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not going to have that now.
Mayers has shown some escapability. He breaks one tackle there and is able to somehow scratch out a yard or two after it looked like he may have been stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Again, Mayers trying to get outside the tackles. Good job eluding the tackle in the backfield, but just not enough. A good play as Matt Murschel tracks him down. And Michelle doing a nice job. There's a guy that did not start last year and has had a big input on the efficacy of this Washington Township defense.
3rd and 7 and a big play for the Chiefs here. Letchford with a little draw play. He takes off his gang tackled after a gain of 3 or 4, and that's well shy of the first down. He needed to get out to the 39-yard line, and here's a late flag that's been thrown.
And I'll tell you what happened there. I think it was Mike O'Connor. Let's watch. You see the quarterback draw. It comes after he's tackled. Now watch this. If we can continue to roll the tape, watch. Keep rolling. You see him down here, and now watch this little shot to the head. Right. Oh, we just missed it. Right there, O'Connor gives him a shot to the head, and it's O'Connor that looks like he's down on the field right now.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was hurting when he knocked Letchford in the helmet.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense.
Well, we mentioned before that Coach Tom Brown said, Jack, we need to avoid stupid penalties. That would qualify.
Well, maybe he was frustrated because he was hurt, but nevertheless, it was that shove that got the penalty called, and it does appear that O'Connor is shaken up. What a loss that would be for this Washington Township team. But what a penalty here when you're going to look at 4th down and about 2 or 3 and a punt. Instead, they'll have a first down here on the unsportsmanlike personal foul penalty.
Well, you saw earlier Letchford limping as they walked off the 15 yards. This is going to be a battle of attrition. Each team is just laying it all out on the line here and really beating up on one another. O'Connor, one of the toughest players you'll see around, having a tough time getting up, and now it looks like he'll be coming off the field, hobbling off, favoring looks to be his left leg, and it looks like it may be a hamstring. You don't know whether it's a cramp or a hamstring.
Well, it was his penalty that has set the Chiefs up in good field position now at the 47-yard line, and now some explanation going on.
We mentioned in the first half Cherokee with 3 big turnovers. There you see the defensive coordinator, Jerry Tarashi, trying to get clear as to what exactly the nature of the penalty was. But nonetheless, Cherokee shooting itself in the foot. 3 big turnovers in the first half, and now Township making a critical error here.
Well, it also had something to do with the substitution of Ryan Cantwell, because Cantwell now has been ushered off the field, and it may have been an illegal. They maybe were refusing Cantwell in as a substitution after that injury. So that may have been what the discussion was, and whatever it is, now they come back with Charlie Rojas. And I think Washington Township now has 11 on the field. Let's see. Yeah, they do. And we're ready to go here on first down. Chiefs quickly to the line of scrimmage. Letchford with a give to Mayers. Mayers a tough 1 or 2 yards again as he crosses midfield.
And now Cantwell comes back into the game. Here's Mayers again, getting the lead block and just tackled from behind, as he did have some blocking in front of him. A slew of Washington Township defenders again wearing down Sean Mayers. The question is it the Township defense that's wearing him down or vice versa?
Second down and 7. Waning moments of the third quarter. Now whistles from the officials before the snap of the football. May have been encroachment. Let's see.
They may have too many players out there, Jack.
Yeah, they've had some real confusion on the part of the Minutemen defense.
I count 11 out on the field.
Some more discussion.
Of course, I wasn't a math major.
Well, maybe they ought to throw the flag on themselves this time. I don't know. There's a lot of confusion. I don't think there's going to be a call here. There's been no penalty flag thrown, by the way, just a whistle. The officials came out, picked up the ball, and now they'll send Cherokee back to the huddle. We're still not sure what all that was about, but we'll try it again on 2nd and 7. Mayers 7 yards deep in the backfield. McCool in motion for the Chiefs. Now he sets on the left side. They'll pitch it to Mayers. Mayers bottled up and caught this time. Well, staying at home defensively that time was Mike Mazzetti for Cherokee.
Well, here's one of the few times you'll see Mayers misread the play. He has a couple options. He's got a hole just off of his tackle, and he can also cut it to the outside. Instead, tries to cut back against the grain. That was a big mistake.
Well, Nysic's had a big night, as has Calden, who you see in your screen. He made a nice play defensively that time.
Of course, it was Calden who earlier came up with the big fumble recovery.
Set up the only points tonight for Washington Township. This may be the last play of the quarter. Cherokee just 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions here in the second half. Letchford gets caught again in the backfield. This time it's Cantwell with a sack. Well, I'll tell you something. It's nothing to take anything away from this Washington Township defense, but Letchford's not near as mobile as he usually is. The sack will be the play that ends the 3rd quarter. So no scoring in this 3rd quarter of play. It's still a tight one in this South Jersey semifinal, the Group 4. Cherokee 7, Washington Township 6. We'll be back with the 4th quarter right after this.
I'm a professional actor, and you may know me in my role as Santa Claus. My face is my workshop. When I suddenly got Bell's palsy, which twisted and paralyzed my face, I was frightened. After 6 months, I still only had limited recovery. I thought my career was over. Then I found treatment that helped. So can you. For nearby rehabilitation of facial palsy, please call this number for a no-charge evaluation. It helped me. It could help you.
Making me swim like a tadpole.
Making more doctors available.
Making laughter the best medicine.
Making customer service better.
Making me feel better when I feel bad.
And making it all simple.
Making more playtime.
That's how we make healthcare work for you.
Making me feel important.
Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Making healthcare work.
Welcome back to Comcast Varsity Football. I'm Brian Morrow. We're in the 12th week of the high school football season, and the Cherokee Chiefs have traveled to play the Washington Township Minutemen out in Gloucester County, New Jersey. They're now in the 4th quarter, where the Chiefs are smelling upset as they still hold a 1-point lead. So let's rejoin our local Comcast crew for more action.
Along with Rob Christ, I'm Jack Hibbard. Welcome back to Washington Township High School. The hometown Minutemen down by the single digit, as you see, as we get set to start this 4th quarter. Washington Township will get the football. Murph Trout, I think, is back to receive this punt. Scanzano to kick from his own 30. Got time. It's a high kick, but a short kick. Fair catch called for by Trout at the 26-yard line.
Well, if there was any question about Coach Brown having confidence in a freshman, there isn't any longer. Sending back Murph Trout to receive a critical punt here, and it was a big play because even though it was just a fair catch, a seemingly innocuous play, had he fumbled that ball, it's a whole different ball game.
They mark it at the 27-yard line. This has been a tight ball game from the beginning. No scoring so far here in the second half, and as you saw moments ago, only 13 in this contest. That missed extra point still looming large for Washington Township. Down by a point. Bryant gets the handoff as he comes from the slot, runs inside one defender, but is unable to get away that time from John Denker.
Well, Denker's done a great job all night. He's laid out some big hits, and here Bryant, so elusive, gets through one man, but Denker will not be denied here. And Denker, the senior, 5'10", 195. He's one of the captains of this Cherokee team, and that's what you want from a captain, someone to step up big when you need him.
Tough night for Bryant. 6 carries, 14 yards. Kerner trying to come over the top, and he overthrows even the 2 defenders who had double coverage on Rojas back there.
Well, again, I tell you what, Kerner is fortunate to have that pass fall incomplete because Rojas is covered by 2 men, and the free safety looms here. You'll see it in your picture. Kerner getting a lot of air under this too, just simply out throwing the coverage. As you see, 3 Chiefs around the football. Rojas pleading for pass interference, but there was nothing there. And Kerner, that's a case where he has to check off his primary receiver.
Well, he'll probably be called upon to throw again here. He's just 3 for 14 so far tonight, and this a 3rd and 10. They flood the left side with 3 receivers. Good coverage by Cherokee, but they throw over Lepresti and get a first down at the 40-yard line. Rojas came down with a catch for the Minutemen.
Well, we mentioned that Rojas probably their go-to guy here. And you know what's interesting about Kerner? He's far more effective when his feet are not planted. He loves to move outside of that pocket, and he hits Rojas right on the money. That's a big first down for the Minutemen.
Well, and I said that Kerner's had a tough night. He has just 4 of 15, but that's a quality throw over coverage. Lepresti nearly tipped it. Bryant tries to get outside, but cannot again. Caught from behind by Dan Parks. Check that. Scott Evans with the tackle for Cherokee.
Well, here you see Bryant trying to cut outside and Evans tracking him down from behind.
And you know, it was also Lepresti there, Rob, who came up to get him around the ankles to slow him down.
Well, this Cherokee, both offensive and defensive line, really banged up at the start of the year. Scott Evans, one of those, had an injured ankle, but he's back, and he's really illustrating that great mobility. In fact, Coach Scott said Evans is quick as most backs.
2nd and 7. And they'll keep it on the ground going through traffic as Ramick to midfield, and he's got himself a first down.
You know, Ramick is a great runner, Jack. I'm surprised we don't see a little bit more of him here in this second half. So strong, so low to the ground, almost like turning a double play there. Kerner chips it out to Ramick, but
let me tell you something. The replay, the fans don't like this spot because he reached out over the 50, but on the replay you could see the ball clearly down almost exactly where it's spotted. So an excellent job by the officials. 3rd and short now for the Minutemen. Cherokee stacks the line of scrimmage. 2nd effort. Kerner has the first down.
I'll tell you what, when you take a look at this play, Jack, that is a very smart play by Kerner, and I'll tell you why. As Kerner gets the ball, he waits for the offensive line to just muscle that Cherokee defensive line, and just that slight hesitation allows him to pick up the first down easily.
Well, this may be the drive that proves the difference. Still plenty of time, but 9:30 and counting down. Minutemen in Cherokee territory now. The inside handoff. Ramick is off and running again. He gets to the 40-yard line before he's picked up there by Alex Whirlage. But Whirlage in the defensive secondary has to make the stop.
Well, I tell you, I've been impressed with Ramick all night long. Only 5'6", but I'd say at least 5 foot of that all heart. Look at Ramick right here. Again, that Delaware wing tee, so tough to pick up. And finally, Ramick just won't be denied, and every effort allowing him to pick up another 2 or 3 yards.
2nd and 3. Harris gets the call this time and goes only to the 38. They'll credit him with maybe a yard. That's it. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
And that looked like John Denker again. He's been around the ball all night long. A true nose for the football. Good matchup between Harris and Denker. A critical 3rd down here. This is probably 4-down territory.
I would think, without question, you're probably in 4-down territory with the ball now at the 38-yard line. 3rd and 2. Bryant has a block this time. Turns the corner and has the first down. Knocked out by Whirlage at the 30-yard line, but a pickup of 8 and a Washington Township first down.
Well, Fred Bryant, really the featured running back in this Washington Township offense, although you couldn't tell it from tonight's game. Reason being, he's got tremendous speed, and here you see it. It's sealed off inside. Now it allows him to kind of kick it outside and utilize that great speed that he has to pick up the critical first down.
They marked him out at the 32. So that was only 6 by Bryant, but still his most effective run tonight. Kerner under some pressure. Now buys time, running out of it. Throws downfield. Carey dropped it. Another one. This one was on the mark. I said it was Carey. It is not. Downfield, that is Steve Ramick. 24, not 44, but what's going on tonight, Rob? They've been some balls that have been there. That one hit Ramick almost in the numbers.
Well, if it makes Steve Ramick feel any better, it wouldn't have mattered because Kerner went over the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. Big mistake because not only is this a penalty, it's also a loss of down.
Well, there you go. It wouldn't have counted anyway. So they'll push it back 5 yards. And it is a loss of down, as Rob mentioned.
Second down and 15 now. Again, we've mentioned that Kerner has had a tough night, but he's also had quite a few passes dropped. That, of course, would not have been a completion. A big, big second down here.
John Scott is wondering about the mark of this and the penalty yardage, but the play goes off now on 2nd and long. And now here comes Coach Scott. He wants to talk to the officials because he thinks that they have miscalculated this penalty, and I'm not sure he doesn't have a case here, Rob.
I don't know. It's a 5-yard penalty. I suppose it looks like maybe they only marked off 4 yards. Now you got a 3rd down and 13. He is not pleased. Now it looks like finally
he got his explanation.
Yes.
So 3rd and 13. This is the 12th play of this drive. That was the 11th play right there on a nice tackle made by Brian Sweeney. But a couple of critical downs coming here, and Steve Kerner thinks so. He saw something he didn't like, so he'll call a timeout.
Well, you know, some people say, listen, that's a bad timeout because we need 3 at the end of the game. I would argue with that. I would exactly. This is a critical play. Kerner did the smart thing there.
So the timeout with 7:20. It'll be 3rd and 13 when we return.
Olympic champion Brian Boitano hosts the 2001 Motrin American Open Professional Figure Skating Championships December 4th and 5th at the First Union Center. World and Olympic champions take to the ice in Philadelphia for the only competition open to all professional skaters. Skill, beauty, and athleticism will be on display in the 4 traditional categories as well as the popular show act. Tickets available at the First Union Center box office and Ticketmaster. Call 215-336-2000.
Comes in handy, huh? It's a lifesaver. We're looking for a new VP of our Northeast operations. Stop by my office later.
Hey, Kevin, aren't you the VP of Northeast Operations?
Imagine what the Journal could do for you. Get 8 weeks of the Journal for just 38 cents a day, a 50% savings. Call 800-634-5700. That's 800-634-5700.
After the timeout, it's 3rd and 13. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, and Kerner will look that way. He's under pressure, gets away from Denker, goes downfield, and has a complete to Rojas. It's short of the first down at the 23-yard line, but certainly, again, in 4-down territory, or do you think about sending the freshman out here to take the lead?
And that's the question. And obviously Coach Brown has confidence in his freshman kicker. The question is, does he have confidence that they can get the snap down? There you see Kerner again showing his elusiveness, and he is so effective when he's on the run. A fine throw made, a fine catch, and now this Washington Township crowd is into the game.
Well,
Big 4th down.
They were being implored by their team. Fred Bryant was actually acting like a cheerleader, and here it might be the play of your game. 4th down and 2. Township 0 for 2 in 4th down conversions tonight. Kerner with that play again. He's caught, and I think he's shy of the first down. We'll have to wait and see, but an outstanding defensive read that time by the Chiefs, and I think they maybe went to the well one time too many with this one, Rob.
Well, again, it's been Kerner with that fake who's been so effective, and a big spot here, and it's Cherokee that will come up with the ball on the downs, the turnover of downs. A huge stop, as you mentioned, by the Chiefs, and now Cherokee. Still plenty of time left here. They're going to have to kind of eat up some of the clock just as Washington Township had.
Well, what a great play by Dan Elchie, who makes it from the end position, comes up and sheds that block and makes the stop, and that is one huge play in this game. Would have been, by the way, if you're wondering, a 41-yard field goal. The question's not on the freshman kicker. You're right. It's on the rest of the special teams. Mayers has running room, gets around the corner. Sean Mayers to the 50. Watch this speed. It's a foot race. He cuts inside. Mayers to the 10. Touchdown. No flags on the play, and the Chiefs have added to their lead.
Well, that's the type of play, Jack, that just rips your heart out. How many times do you see it in a game? A big defensive stop followed by a big offensive play. Cherokee obviously big time motivated after that big defensive play. Coming out firing on all cylinders offensively. Sean Mayers breaks it open.
76 yards for Mayers. His second touchdown of the night. He now has over 200 yards tonight with the 2 touchdowns. They knew they needed a big game from Mayers if they were going to be a factor tonight, and boy, have they gotten it this evening.
Runs like that, Mayers is going to be elevated to governors.
So Scanzano on for a very important extra point. This would force Washington Township to go for 2 should they score in this one. Snap is high, but they get it down. The kick is no good. So there you go. That equals things out, doesn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what. Adam Scanzano is about as close as you can say, as you can call automatic in high school. Coming into today, he had made 26 of 28 extra points. He is now 27 for 30. Here's the pitch out to Mayers. Just some fine blocking. And here it is. You see how quick Mayers gets to that hole, and now it's off to the races. Here he beats Kerner playing defense. Obviously worn out after that tough offensive set. And here it is, the big cutback, just eluding the defender. And now it's Mayers who can sniff the goal line, and Cherokee with a huge touchdown.
I don't know if you noticed, Rob, a couple of terrific blocks. One was on Cantwell. They just turned him around and locked him inside and let Mayers get outside. And once he gets out on the sideline and turns on the afterburners, you can turn out the lights. And that's what happened moments ago. 76 yards, and they add to the lead, but that extra point again looms large. It's just a 7-point game at 13-6. 6:52 to go in this one.
Well, coming into this game, Washington Township certainly the favorite. If you were to put a line on this game, you'd probably say Township by 8. Coming into the game undefeated, defeated Cherokee 21-0 earlier in the year. But as you mentioned, Jack, that was out without Blake Letchford.
Well,
it really shut down Mayers as a result of it. And it's been a whole different game.
As you know, Rob, we both of us had the opportunity to talk to Coach Brown prior to the ball game. I mean, he'd be the first one to tell you, look, we were outplayed on the stat sheet that day. That score was not indicative of the ball game. A late score in that one to make it 21-0, and even a 16-play drive, Rob, in the first game where Cherokee did not score. 16 plays and never got any points. And that goes right between the return men and through the end zone for a touchback.
Well, we mentioned before that Coach Brown not pleased with his special teams, and there's some miscommunication allows Cherokee to pin Washington Township deep in their own end. Hey, going 80 yards for touchdowns against this Cherokee defense is tough.
Well, still plenty of time left in this one. Over half a quarter to go. 6:52 left here in the fourth. And that, of course, is in regulation. But the Chiefs up 13-6. Kerner will throw on first down. The quick out to Rojas. I think he grabbed it, but it's only going to be good for about a yard.
Now, this is what we talked about, Jack. It seems crazy, but here you see Kerner set up in his drop. Here he is. Nice set. Throws. Look at his footwork. Poor footwork, and as a result, makes a poor delivery. He's much better off when he's moving out of the pocket.
About a yard. Well, the nose of the football almost to the 22, but we'll call it 2nd and 9. Inside they go, and if anybody's had some success, it's been Ramick. He gets out across the 30 for a first down to the 33-yard line, and another injured player.
And that is
It is Ramick.
Well, again, you're not sure if that's a knee or a cramp, but Ramick has been so effective. He's so elusive, and to be honest with you, he's tough to spot because he is so low to the ground. And Ramick has been doing a great job here, showing a lot of heart, but that again would be a big loss for this Minuteman offense.
Ramick picked up 10 on the play. He now has 45 yards. He's been the most productive tailback most productive runner, except for the great rushing early in this ball game by Kerner. For Washington Township, that of course is. Kerner has 40 yards now when you consider the sacks. Ramick looks okay, and he'll probably get a quick blow and get right back into the ball game.
That may have been a cramp. If there's any question about whether Cherokee's done a fine job defensively, holding this Washington Township team to just 6 points, the last 3 games, Washington Township has scored a minimum of 3 touchdowns.
It's 1st and 10 for the Minutemen, just across their own 30. Bryant this time through traffic, jumping over a defender.
Well, John Howler made the tackle, but it was more like he made the catch. Fred Bryant just jumping over the lineman, strewn about the ground. Here you see Bryant just finding the way as you see the guards pull here, and now Bryant jumping over men, and Howler catches them in the air, and Bryant picks up another yard or 2.
Got 6, so it's 2nd and 4. Running with the football is number 22, Dan Holmes. Holmes in for Ramick.
And we really haven't seen Holmes out of that running back spot. Holmes, a big guy, 5'10", 205 pounds. Just adds another dimension here. And again, you see perhaps that Washington Township line starting to outmuscle Cherokee. Remember that missed extra point will be critical here.
From the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Holmes again to the outside, and Evan Brown hanging on for dear life. Check that, number 29, LaRue Robinson with the tackle, but not before. The latest addition to the backfield is making an impact. Another first down for the Minutemen.
Well, again, what Holmes brings you is a different element, much different from the speed of Bryant and the low power of Ramick. He is just big, flat out big.
Bryant now comes the other way. He's got 5 or 6 inside the 40 to the 39, and the drive continues.
Well, of course, a double-edged sword here, Jack. They're really effective picking up gains of 4 and 5 yards. And here you see Bryant, just huge holes developing now in this Cherokee defense. But, you know, the clock continues to wind down here. 4 minutes remaining, and they're going to have to pick up bigger chunks.
This drive started with 6:52 left on the clock. 2.5 minutes gone in this one. Holmes fumbles the football. It's picked up by Robinson. He's off and running down the sideline. Tripped from behind, but not before he gets inside the 30. A critical turnover by number 22, Dan Holmes. Not usually in there. Holmes actually made the touchdown-saving tackle on Robinson.
Well, you know, probably Coach Scott pulling his hair out as he saw Robinson just try to pick this ball cleanly. Fortunately for Robinson, he did, trying to go for the touchdown. Holmes with the touchdown-saving tackle. And as you mentioned, Holmes not used to necessarily handling the ball as much as some of the other running backs. And perhaps this Township offense going to the well once too often. There the hit made by number 33, Nick Denker. And again, both Nick Denker and John Denker have been so big in this game. LaRue Robinson, Johnny on the spot, a huge turnover.
I don't think this is much of a surprise. Mayers gets the call on first down through traffic. Bodies flying all over the place, but Mayers with a gain of 6 to the 25. Boy, what a night for Sean Mayers. He's got 2 touchdowns, 216 yards tonight. These may have been 5 or 6 of his toughest.
Well, they've tried to tackle him just about every way. There you saw Ryan Cantwell holding onto his shirt, and literally Mayers just pulling him along for the ride. That's no easy thing to do. Cantwell just under 200 pounds.
Remember, we talked about the ability of Murph Trout. Scanzano, a pretty good kicker for John Scott in his own right. And I'd say if you get this thing inside 35 or 30 yards, you may see Scanzano try to put this team up. A little premature yet. Second down. And again to Mayers. Trying to turn the corner, and he gets to the 21 or 22.
And again, another injured Washington Township player down. Cannot make out a number. And he quickly gets up. You know, Jack, here again you see Mayers showing that power that he's really added to his game this year. But you mentioned about perhaps them going to a field goal. Jack, I frankly would be very surprised if they do attempt a field goal here. I think no matter what, from here on in, it's 4-down territory. I think that Coach Scott really fears the block kick. He mentioned to me that he's not a big field goal guy.
Mayers comes up shy, I think, so we'll see here. Was tackled at the, actually, I think lost a yard on the play back to the 23. He did, so it'll be 4th and 3. Well, this would be, this is definitely 4-down territory just because it's a little out of Scanzano's range, so that doesn't even come into the decision-making process here. But what a big play coming up for Cherokee. 2:15 and counting down in this one. The Chiefs will take their time deciding what to do here, at least what play to do, and then they may even take a timeout.
Well, this is a mistake by Washington Township. They should have called a timeout right after that play. I realize they probably think, you know what, let's allow Cherokee to use one of their timeouts.
Yeah,
but they've just eaten up 30 seconds of clock, essentially, and that's 30 seconds that Washington Township can ill afford.
Well, each team now with 2 timeouts remaining in this one. 2:02 to go in regulation. It's 13-6. Cherokee with the ball at the Washington Township 23-yard line, looking at a 4th and 3.
Well, as I mentioned, Letchford's going to stay out there. Coming into the game, Scott said Scanzano's range about 40 to 45 yards. He's 1 for 3 in field goals this year. He said, I'm not a big field goal guy. Don't really feel comfortable with it. And at this point, I think that he feels that it's up to his offense to win this game, and perhaps rightfully so. They need 3 yards. Hey, if they don't get the 3, our defense has done a great job. Let's see Washington Township march this ball down 70 some odd yards, and if they do it, then God bless them. They deserve to win.
Well, I think, as I said too, Rob, at 40 yards, I don't even think it's a thought. Maybe at 25 or 30, it's an easy way to get an advantage, but at this range, you've got to go for it. 4th down and 3 here with the ball at the 23. Coach John Scott came out to talk to his team just momentarily at the end of the timeout. They'll go with 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen, the straight I formation. Letchford with a hard, long count. They'll give it to the money man. Mayers has the first down inside the 20-yard line. That's a huge run from Sean Mayers. It keeps the clock rolling. At least it will once they set the chains.
Well, look at the holes developing here. I mean, the Cherokee blockers, that line has just done a phenomenal job.
Rob, I think you've got to use a timeout, don't you, if you're Washington Township here?
No question. I'm just in shock right now that they haven't called a timeout. You've got to make Cherokee snap this ball right away, and the only way to do that is to call a timeout.
They're not, and they've lost another 25 seconds here. It'll be at least 1:35 or less when they snap this football. 2 receivers to the left. There's the flag. Too much time. I'm not quite sure that Cherokee wanted to do that.
Delay. Offense.
Now the clock will remain at 1:31 until the Chiefs snap the football, and it'll be 1st and 15.
No, you're absolutely right. Of course, if you recall earlier in that critical drive on that 3rd or 4th down play, Kerner called a timeout when Washington Township had the ball.
Delay. Offense.
I'll tell you something, though, Rob. They need a first down to run all the clock, but even if they don't get the first down and Washington Township uses the 2 timeouts, there'll be precious time remaining. Let's see if the Minutemen use a timeout after this run by Mayers. Mayers gets to the 25, put 2 hands on the ball to make sure, and now here comes the timeout with 1:18, 1:17 before the clock stops. Left to go in this one. There's the score and the time left in this one. 13-6 with just 1:17 left. There is a flag that's been thrown. late in this play. So we'll see about this call. It was thrown back in back of the Township players. Here is Al Shoup.
Well, you can see it's against Township.
I think it might be a misconduct call. Let's see.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense.
I think, and I'm just surmising up here, at least they are in the booth with us, that something was said to the officials. I don't know. It came way after the play and not even close to this play, Rob. It was thrown behind like where the secondary would be, where they'd line up. And outside the 25-yard line, this will not be. That will not be half the distance to the goal. That'll take it all the way down to the 11-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 1. And now just a quarterback sneak will pretty much end this thing.
Well, this game has come full circle, Jack. We talked about a couple things to start with. Coach Brown said we need to avoid stupid penalties. If you remember on the Cherokee drive, a big 15-yard penalty against Township. Here again, a big 15-yard penalty against Township. Also, we talked earlier about this Cherokee team always seems to be counted out. So gritty, so tough. What a great job they've done. This offensive line, outsized, but certainly not outmanned. Just tremendous heart, developing big holes for Mayers, and he has taken full advantage of it.
Well, you talk about the penalties, you talk about the turnovers, Rob. Cherokee had 3 turnovers in the first half, but yet still went to the locker room with a 7-6 lead. The turnover, though, here by Washington Township to begin this drive has been a killer, though, for the Minutemen. The quarterback sneak for Letchford. You wonder how much juice he's got on that leg. Enough, obviously, to get the first down. And I believe that after they move the chains, Washington Township may use their last timeout.
Well, I certainly would expect them to.
You don't get anything for taking them in the locker room, but the outcome of this one has already been decided. They have 1 timeout left, but it doesn't even look like they're going to use it here, knowing that barring a miracle, they wouldn't get the ball back anyway. Now, if you're Cherokee, Rob, I don't even think you'd do anything but have Letchford take a knee here. You don't want a little miracle at Washington Township tonight. He'll not take a knee, he'll quarterback sneak it.
And again, not necessarily a wise decision there. Not only is there the possibility of a fumble, Blake Letchford's playing essentially on one leg right now.
Yeah, he is. Well, I'll tell you something. Credit these Cherokee Chiefs. Not a lot of folks in South Jersey gave them much of a chance, but they are going to put an end to Washington Township's unbeaten streak. And in what has been a dream season for the Minutemen this year, are going to knock them out of the South Jersey playoffs. This will be the surprise probably so far of the postseason. But the time winds down here. There you see the official time. And the Cherokee Chiefs will move on to face the winner of Jackson and Shawnee in the South Jersey Group IV Championship to be played in 2 weeks from now. How about that? John Scott celebrates with his players. The final score here from Washington Township, New Jersey. The Cherokee Chiefs 13. The Washington Township Minutemen 6. Hope you enjoyed the ball game, everybody. For Rob, Chris, I'm Jack Hibbard. So long from Washington Township.
So as the Chiefs upset the #1 seed with a 13-6 win, they'll advance to go on to play Jackson for the South Jersey Group IV title. Well, that'll just about wrap up today's action, but be sure to tune in tomorrow when we go out to Newark, Delaware to see the Newark Yellow Jackets host the William Penn Colonials. And don't forget to watch every weekday from 2:30 to 4:30 for the best in high school football. So for everyone here at Comcast Varsity Football, I'm Brian Morrow. Thanks for watching.